She.
We
Come
have,
here.
oh, look at that. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Hello. Is it a he or she? It's a she, you said.
This is a she. This is
Okay,
Whiskers.
I'm coming through. Hold on a second. This is the problems with now. Now I got you. This is the problem with going live. I had the speakers on my laptop blasting me as
Oh,
well.
okay.
You look a little bit. Did you go out today? Did you run?
Yes. And just in time because we've got massive thunderstorms coming through now. So if you hear thunder in the background, that's what that is. So I've switched to 5G and hopefully I won't lose internet during this. So
Oh, it was thundering. I was in the bathroom before finishing, my makeup. Not that I have a ton of makeup, but making myself presentable. And I could hear the thunder. So yeah, it's gonna rain here too as well. And tomorrow it's Broad Street.
oh,
There's a
that's
few
right.
of
Yeah.
yeah, a few of our subscribers are running Broad Street, and it's going to
Nice.
yeah. It tends to run for Broad. It tends to rain for Broad Street.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter when they like the year I ran it, we pushed. So it was pushed from May till September 2020, then to May 2021, and then finally it happened September 2021, and it
That's
rained
just
too.
that's
So
just like when they kept postponing Boston Marathon because of COVID.
yeah. So thanks everybody for joining us. I
Happy May
am
the
here.
4th.
Happy May the 4th. Oh, I almost forgot saying that. I am here joined by my good friend Heather.
Hello.
My brother's here.
Oh, hi.
Very cool. Hola, hermanito. And Carol is here as well. Hi,
Yeah,
Carol.
Carol.
Super cool. Thank you guys for joining us. So, why don't you introduce yourself?
My name's Heather. On the internet, everything is under the name Running Geek Girl, and all of my videos and my channels and everything have to do with just like what I'm learning in running, how I'm training, different races that I go to, and then just some regular geeky stuff as I come across it.
Right. And you usually film when you go to that Atlanta convention,
Hmm.
which is
Which
it's not.
my son is coming with me this year, so that's going to be exciting.
Oh wow! How old is your son?
He's 11.
Oh, so he's in the sweet spot.
Yeah, and he's been wanting to come to this for years. And I'm like, well, he's 11, almost 12. I figure he can handle walking around for 5 days.
And he's going to be a good companion too, because he probably knows a lot
Yes.
about all the different characters and when he
Oh,
sees people
yeah.
in costumes. Yeah, if he's anything like my son is 20, but I am a huge Star Wars fan, and
Mhm.
when he was growing up, it reached the point where I knew a lot about Star Wars and I could teach him stuff.
Mhm.
Now, for a few years now, he knows a lot more than I know. So he blows me away with his, understanding of the Star Wars universe. So
Oh, yeah.
yeah, cool. So today, what we are going to do is we're going to sort of play a game. We have questions. I have questions for Heather. Heather has questions for me. So she's going to ask me her questions. I'm going to ask her mine. But the kicker is that we're both going to answer the questions. So the
Right.
questions that I prepared for her that I really want to know about you, I'm going to have to answer as
Mhm.
well, and vice versa. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And if you have any questions, put them in the comments. We'll answer them as well as we go
Yeah.
along. Yeah. So okay, be good to me. Yeah, I was good to you. Actually, I had a lot of questions, and I kept going every single question. I was going deeper. Yeah, it was like, it's getting more juicy.
It's like,
So okay.
but why?
Oh, I have a lot of whys in my
Yeah.
questions. So yeah, I always want to know why. I'm very inquisitive. Cool. So do you want to start?
Sure. We'll start out with something really easy. What is your next big running goal? I mean, it's the, so for anybody that may not have been keeping up with what it is that you're working towards, is there a smaller goal that you're working towards now on the way to a bigger goal? But what's the game plan?
So that's a really good question. So my game plan right now is running the 10K in Madrid with my brother. It's called Madrid Vintage. So it's a cool race. They've only I think this is the third year they're hosting. So, but there's 10,000 runners, and the good thing about this race is that Madrid is very hilly, but they have made the course in a way that it's all downhill.
Oh, nice.
so so it is truly downhill. Like if you guys go to I think it's madridvintage.com, the elevation is just like in the 10K, it's just a total downhill. Especially the last, I think it's mile and a half or mile. It's just like down, like I mean, it's downhill, like truly downhill. So I am super excited. Hopefully I PR, um, which that's really my goal is to get a good time at the 10K so that I get a little bit of because I haven't had a good year and a half with my times. I've been like really close to like getting a PR, but I haven't like PR'd. So
Yeah.
in anything really. So
Because I know
and I've been
you've
close.
made those PR attempts, and it's like there's some sort of condition with the weather or the course or something that always gets in the way.
Or with me, like I wanted to PR at the April Fools for the half marathon. My PR was from there. So I was like, okay, it's completely flat next to the ocean, no elevation whatsoever. Low, pressure, like atmospheric pressure, which is what you want. And I fell like 10 days before the race, really bad on
Right.
my back, and that was completely off the table. So yeah, it's there's always something. It's yeah, but then other times, like I ran Disney Marathon and I did 4:47, which is so
Mhm.
close. My PR is 4:45. So 4:47 when I wasn't even trying to, you know,
Yeah.
it's yeah, it's so hopefully. So I just for now, I just want to concentrate on this 10K and then we'll see. I'm going to run the Atlantic City Marathon
Mhm.
unless something major happens because they host the half and the full on the same weekend. It's Saturday's the half and Sunday's the full, and they invite me to come film.
Mhm.
So if something happens and I can't run the full marathon, if I think that I can't run the full marathon for whatever the reason, then I will do the half. So
Mhm.
it's a good thing that you have that flexibility. And if you sign up for the full Atlantic City Marathon, they switch you if you want to as well. Like
Oh,
it
that's
wouldn't be
cool.
just me. Like it's one of those. They're super flexible. They're really nice. I mean, they're really really nice people. So much so, one of the races I ran with them, I forgot my bag. Like I checked in a bag, and then I
Mhm.
left. I finished the
Oops.
race and I left. And then when I'm like halfway, and it's an hour and a half from my house. So I was halfway back to my house, 45 minutes into the drive, and then I realized that I have forgotten my bag, and I'm like, I can't drive
Oh
back
no.
because they're gonna be like gone. So I sent them an email and I said, I'll come get it. Just tell me where, just give me an address. I'll come meet you and I'll get my bag. Because I had something in the bag that I really wanted to retrieve. It was not like typically you put, like, I don't know, a t-shirt or something. No, there was something that
Yeah.
I really wanted back. I think I had a Lululemon jacket or something in the bag.
Oh
And I was
yeah.
like, I need to get it back because it's like
Yeah. Those things are not
$150.
cheap.
It's like, I need to get it back. I think that was a Lululemon jacket. So so she said, I'll send it to you. And I was like, well, just let me know and I'll PayPal you the money for the box, like whatever
Mhm.
they charge you. So she sent like a super nice box with like a thank you
Oh.
note. I mean, she was so sweet. They're awesome. It's an awesome organization.
Mm.
So highly encourage anybody if they're in the area. If you want to run New Jersey, that's a really nice. The half marathon is
Mhm.
really, really nice.
I've seen pictures and it's really pretty.
Yeah,
It
and it goes
looks
through
fun.
like the whole highlights of Atlantic City, like the one in like the one they do in October. It
Mhm.
just the course is super nice. It has a little bit of it's not entirely flat. There's a couple of like overpasses, but you go
Right.
through like all the casinos and the windmills. and the boardwalk and back and the marina. So it's nice. It's a nice
I think
course.
the boardwalk looks really cool.
The boardwalk is very cool. Yeah, there's a, I don't know if you've ever run on a boardwalk, but well, you've
Mhm.
done it in Disney. Disney
Right.
has the boardwalk. That boardwalk is like another level of boardwalk. So
Yeah.
the one in Atlantic City is not as well maintained. So you feel the, like it absorbs a lot of the shock from running. Whereas
Right.
the one in Disney, it could be slippery, but it doesn't give. The one in Atlantic
Mhm.
City gives. So you feel like a little bit. It's a weird sensation. Let's put it that way. Especially if you're trying to go fast. It's you come back, so it's towards the end. You're on the boardwalk. Yeah, it's a weird. Yeah. So
Cool.
now the same to you. What's your next goal?
Um, I tend to not be really great at setting hard goals. They're just kind of arbitrary based off of just
Good for
what
you
I'm
though.
doing at the time. Um, for instance, running up that Hillary on Instagram came up with the middle of the pack challenge, where you take the women's world records for all these different distances and double them, and we'll try to hit those as our goals for the rest of 2024. So that's one of the things that I'm doing, is at least trying to hit that 1 mile record. And I think once you double it, it comes to about 8:15. So I'm
I was
working on
gonna
a 1
say
mile. Yeah. So it comes
even
to
doubling
a,
it up.
yeah. So I just trying to hit that, and that would be fun. Um, I'm also just kind of um, working towards, I had the thought last year, once I hit a 50 miler, and people were like, well, you're not that far off from 100K. So I may be doing that same race again, but try to push for 100K and hopefully not be fighting a fever while I'm running the race, because I think that would make a huge difference.
Oh, I
And
bet.
beyond that, I just wanna try to experience something different every race, to notice something different, just to come away with something that I've learned, which I know is just real kind of a blah sounding goal, but it is something that I've been working on this year. It's just like, what is it that I can take away from this race that I truly enjoyed? And kind of noticing, as I'm running in different states, how each state has its own kind of feel for how their runners are and how they approach races and stuff like that. And just trying to pay attention to that and just see, what running is like for lots of different types of people. So that's kind of been my thing this year, is and I mentioned this a lot on especially my short form videos, of just find the joy. Even in just a regular training run, there's got to be something that I enjoyed about it. And even if the run was bad, there's got to be at least one thing that was good while I was out there. So that's kind of been some of my goals for this year. And of course, then I tacked on physical therapy to this year, which I'll be talking about in an upcoming video pretty soon. But just trying to stay on top of physical therapy and look at how that has been changing my running as well. Especially since I've been getting a lot of input on. It helps that my physical therapist is a runner, and so she knows exactly what it is that I'm trying to do, what I need to change, and stuff like that. So she's been great about giving me a lot of different stuff to work on, and so I'm definitely seeing some changes there. So that's, trying to improve, trying to enjoy things, see what running is like for lots of different people, and just kind of experiencing it all, and then push myself to be to go just a little bit farther than I did last year.
You're gonna end up going super, super far because because you run
I
truly.
really think, though, and I was thinking about this morning, I really think that, like, 100K is definitely gonna be my limit, because beyond that, it would be like a 100 miler. There is no way. There is no way that I would put myself through a 100 miler.
Oh,
That's too
I
much.
have a question for you actually. That yeah, it's not running, but yeah. When it's my turn to answer. Okay. Um, I was gonna ask you something about this and I lost my train of thought. It'll come back to me.
Okay.
Okay, so Now, let me get my question. So let's do one that's not running related.
Hmm.
I want to know which was which was your first concert that you went to,
Hmm.
which band or singer, which performer, the location, who did you go with, and why?
First concert, like big time concert that I went to, I was probably about fourth or fifth grade, something like that. I went with my family. It was in Little Rock at Barton Coliseum, and it was the Monkees reunion tour. Uh, there were three of them that had reunited. I think Mike Nesmith was the one that was the holdout, that didn't tour with them, but Davey and Mickey and Peter all toured together, and so we got to see them. And then there were like some other 1960s bands that opened for them. I remember like Herman's Hermits were there as one of the opening bands. But yeah, that was my first concert.
Oh, wow.
And a lot of that had to do with the fact that my mom was a huge Davy Jones fan growing up. And so this was her opportunity to see him live. And I had been watching the Monkees on TV because at the time it came on MTV in the afternoons about the time that we would get out of school. And so I turned on the TV and the Monkees would be on. And so I thought that was really cool. My mom thought it was awesome because that's, that was Davy Jones, who she had a crush on as a teenager. So
Did I lose you? Okay. I don't know if I lost you. Yep, I think we lost her.
hey,
Oh, we you're back. You were
yeah.
frozen for a bit. That's a pretty cool story because you were super young too.
Mhm. But, I come from a family of musicians, so going to concerts was just kind of a normal thing. Because I remember even growing up before that, my parents would, like, leave us with a grandparent so that they could go to a concert and then come back the next day, stuff like that. Because I remember my grandparents taking me to school and stuff like that, but yeah.
That's pretty cool. So I don't think I went with my parents to concerts, but I don't remember any of them. So like I remember going, but I don't remember which bands or artists they were. The first one that I went like as a teenager was Spandau Ballet,
Oh, wow.
and I was 15. So I remember, and it was late. So it started at, I think it started at like 10 p.m. at night or something, and I
Mhm.
was 15 in Madrid.
Right.
So I told my parents I really, really, really want to go, like, because I was a huge fan. It was right
Mhm.
around the time where, Spandau Ballet was like extremely, I mean, they were a thing, like
Yeah.
them and Duran Duran. It was, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And Aha as
Oh
well.
my
The,
gosh,
the
yeah.
guys, the people who take on me. Yeah. So I really wanted to go. So I asked my parents, and they said, okay. I mean, they were reticent, but they said, okay, you can go. Like, how are you gonna get there? Like, what's the plan? And I didn't even have anybody to go with, like, because I really wanted to go. Like, but so then I asked around in high school. Nobody wanted to go, or nobody was allowed to go. Like the people who wanted to go was not, they were not allowed. So finally, this girl who was in the last grade in high school,
Mhm.
she was 18, and she said, "Oh, I'll go with you. Like, I really want to go, so I'll go with you." So we bought the tickets, and we actually, I remember it was such an adventure because I had never been in the subway as late. The concert
Mhm.
finished, and we were like taking the subway at 12 at night or later than that. Yeah,
Yikes.
and yeah, it was. But it was public transportation in Madrid is safe and everything. But I remember like thinking, wow, this is quite the adventure. Yeah. And and in Spain, usually you don't have the tickets are not numbered, so you don't have a seat.
Mhm.
Basically because everybody stands, whatever it is, but usually you're standing.
Mhm.
Um, so we were there very early for the concert, and when they opened the doors, we ran and we were on the first, like right against the. So we saw them like almost, if you could almost touch them. It was so
Yeah,
cool. It was such
that's
an
awesome.
experience. Yeah. It was super cool. So, okay, now your
Well,
turn.
that actually leads into one of the questions that I had for you, because I
Oh,
know that one of your New Year's resolutions was to see more live performances, and so I wanted to know, what is the most recent live performance that you've had a chance to see, and what did you think of it?
so we went to see Snarky Puppy, which it's not super well known. Their band, they're incredibly talented. They're really really good. So, but they make like jazz, pop. It's a mix of different
Mhm,
genres. Um, I thought they were awesome. Like they were, we saw them at the this auditorium in Princeton University.
mhm,
It's called MacArthur Theater. It's really nice, like Broadway quality, like old, like ceilings, high ceilings, like really really cool. And I had never been inside, so the whole experience was really cool. Because I've seen it from the outside, but I had never been in a performance. So so they were really good. That's my second this year because I we went to see Aladdin in Broadway.
right.
So and that was beyond as well. So both of them were really completely different, very good performances both. So
Cool.
so how about yours?
Um, Thursday night, my husband and I went to see Nickel Creek at a little concert venue in Little Rock, and which most people would not think you listen to bluegrass. Well, I mean, it's not. They have bluegrass instrumentation, but it's like their music is kind of a mixture of like, it's like progressive, it's jazz, there's classical in there, but it's with bluegrass instruments. So, bass, guitar, fiddle, and mandolin.
Oh
Um,
wow.
but I've been listening to them since about the time I graduated from high school, and this is the first time I've gotten to see them live because they don't come through Little Rock very often. Um, Little Rock is really lucky when we can get big name acts to come through, because since we're a mid-level market, it's basically if artists have free time between two larger markets, like if they're going to New Orleans and to Dallas, and they have like a couple of days in between, then they may stop and do a show in Little Rock and book a show there. Um, so we don't get like a ton of stuff coming through a lot, but when we do, we turn out for it. So this is an act that just hasn't come through Little Rock very often, and so we were really happy to get them. So um, it was a standing only venue, which is tough because you're having to stand through the whole thing. But we got there as soon as doors opened, and there happened to be spots like right on the front against the rail. So we just stayed there in the front against the rail, and it was an amazing show. And of course,
Oh,
we
good
had
for
a great
you.
view.
Yeah, for Snarky Puppy, everything was numbered. Like we had our seats assigned, and we were kind of far. I mean, it's still you could see them, but yeah, and
Yeah.
for Latin too. Like we were super far. So
Mhm.
yeah. Okay. So now it's my turn. Can you pull it up again? I don't know why my computer is. Uh, did I lose this? Hold on a second. Okay, here. This one is running related.
Okay.
Tell me one running challenge you would like to do and why. And it can't be 56 because I know you're doing that one. It needs to be another one.
Let's see. Um, I do know, like I said, I'm trying to run all 50 states. I would love to run the Abbott Majors, which is a big deal because I'm not huge on running marathons. Which is weird. And I've talked about this with other people too, and they've had the same experience. It's like I like half marathons and I like ultras, but not so much the marathon. Um, I guess maybe it's just because, like, the ultras, it's a longer distance, but it's a lot more low key, totally different vibe than road racing. And it's like, if I'm going to be on the road, I think, half marathon is just a good distance for it. Um, but I am willing to do a marathon for the Abbott Majors. So that's kind of in the back of my mind. But as most people know, those are very hard to get into.
Oh, it's
So,
getting harder.
yeah, it's getting harder and harder all the time because everybody's wanting to do that. And now with my luck, I'll get the majors done, and then they'll add Sydney, and I'm like, I gotta, I gotta add that to the list too.
Yeah, a lot of people actually are doing them now because that you can get the six, the medal
Right,
with the six, because they're gonna
the
add,
6 stars.
and then you can never get the 6 stars.
Right. And they did say that I think they said if you run Sydney this year, then if they become an Abbott major next year, then you're guaranteed entry into the first run as an Abbott major.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
To be perfectly honest, I don't know how I feel about the whole thing. Like, I think I think if you do, for starters, I think if they have the Abbott majors, then they have to knock Boston out of the, because Boston is
Right.
qualifying or raising money. So then they have
Right.
to get in my opinion, they should get Boston out of the way. So
Yeah,
at
because the
Sydney, get
standards, the
Boston out.
qualifications, yeah, it's just it's totally different from every other race.
Every other race doesn't have a cutoff. It's more like
Mhm.
New York City. They don't take like when the last person, the last runner crosses the finish line, they take off the finish line. The
Yeah.
whole thing is there.
Yeah.
So, and they have
I will
people
say
crossing the finish at
Tokyo.
2 a.m. or something. So,
Yeah, well, Tokyo has some pretty strict cutoffs. I think they check you every 5K as to what your pace is, and if you're not keeping that pace, they pull you from the course.
but it's a generous pace too. I think it's like 7
Yeah,
hours or something. So,
yeah,
where it's Boston, it's just the whole qualifying thing. I just don't think it deserves, in my opinion, as much as I want
yeah.
to run Boston, I don't think it deserves being part of.
And people are just getting like really snarky about the whole Boston qualifying time,
I
and it's
agree.
just like, yeah, and people saying, well, if you raised money, then you just paid to be here, and you don't deserve to be on the course if it takes you longer than 4 hours. I'm just like, dude. We're all runners. We're all putting one foot in front of the other, you know?
Yeah, and a mile is a mile, no matter
Yeah.
the speed. So, yeah,
26 miles is 26 miles no matter how fast or slow you run it.
point two, point two
Yeah.
matter as well,
Point two.
because those are the hardest. The
Thanks
last
a lot,
point two are like,
London, for the extra point two.
right, because it's their fault. It's always the British. Sorry, someone from Great Britain. It's all your fault. Um.
Also,
So,
bonjour in the chat.
oh yeah. Sorry. Hi, Siva. ¿Cómo se va? Oh, they're running. Is you and your wife, or just you? We run the Levis Half Marathon in Quebec. That's pretty cool. So for me, a challenge that I would love to do is the
Hmm.
7 marathons in 7 continents. I
Oh,
would love
yeah.
to do, and I have like a bucket list of which ones I would do.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Which sounds
yeah.
fun, except for Antarctica.
I would even do that because, well, you have to do it to complete the challenge. But Sylvan is saying it's just him.
Oh, just
Good
you.
luck
Okay.
tomorrow. I hope it doesn't rain like
Yeah.
here in Philadelphia for Broad Street. So yeah, I would again. I have my, like, I have the races that I would run even. So yeah, it's one of those things that it's so logistically, obviously it's complicated
Hmm.
because not we don't have unlimited vacation, and then it's also very expensive. So
Right.
yeah, but I would, North America, I have it already. So then I would
Hmm.
do Madrid Marathon for sure.
So you've
Then
got Europe.
I, yeah, I have to run Madrid Marathon at some point in my life. Then I would have to.
Right.
And then probably in South America, I would love to do Rio de Janeiro. That's
Hmm.
gotta be a really cool marathon. Then Antarctica. And then in Asia, I would love to do Myanmar. There's a
Ooh.
marathon there that goes through like all the it goes through 1,000 temples. Like you run through a
Hmm.
thousand temples. So I would love to do that one. And it's a marathon. Then probably Sydney
Hmm.
Marathon. And
Either Sydney or
then
Gold Coast.
no, I
'Cause
think
those
I
are
would
both
love
good races.
I think I would do Sydney more than Gold Coast. And then in South Africa, we would love to do the Big Five.
Hmm.
The one where you're running through, the animals
Right.
are
Yeah.
there. If you're lucky, the animals are there. You'll see something. Yeah. So, yeah. So those are mine.
Cool.
Okay. Now it's your
Um,
turn for the next one.
this is one that's fun to think about. If you got to choose the song playing as you cross the finish line of every race that you ran, what song would that be?
Oh, I have this one. So, so when I crossed the finish line at Disney Marathon with Carol, I
Mhm.
don't know if Carol is still on, and if she remembers which one it was. Are you still on, Carol? I don't know if she remembers. I noticed because I was like, oh my God, this is the perfect marathon, the perfect song to cross the finish line for a marathon. It's the Tonight Tonight. It's the Black Eyed Peas. What's it called? Let's do it. Let's do it. And do it, do it, do it. What's that song, man?
I
Oh,
know which one you mean.
oh crap. I should have checked this. Well, I didn't know your Black Eyed Peas. Black Eyed Peas. Um,
Oh, your wife is your private cheerleader? That's sweet.
okay, let me put this up.
Oh.
I need to find this song. What is it called? Um, is
Every
it
once
Let's
in a while,
Do It
I'm able
Again?
to.
I got a feeling. I got a
I got a feeling
feeling.
that's it.
Ooh, ooh, that tonight's
I
gonna
will
be.
be-
That's my
Yeah.
song. Yeah, when we crossed the finish at Disney Marathon, they were playing that one, and it was so cool. It's like, oh my God, this is the perfect song to finish the marathon. So yeah, which one would be yours?
Probably Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger by Daft Punk.
I don't even know what song
Yeah.
that is. Can you sing it? Like,
Well, those are pretty much the words.
that's
Harder,
it.
better, faster, stronger, and then it's got a cool beat, and yeah,
And it's Def Leppard, you said?
Daft Punk.
Oh, Def Punk. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to find it. Okay. Now, okay, I'm going to another. Let me close this document. Okay, now. Um, I think I like this question. If you could go anywhere on a trip
Mhm.
with moi, with me,
Mhm.
where would it be and why? I'm putting you on the spot.
Um, Honestly, I would really like to go to Spain so you can show me all the highlights of Spain because that's been on my bucket list for a while. I love the food and the architecture and everything. And so yeah, somebody that shows me all the stuff that I really need to see while I'm there.
Oh, I would love to do that. Yeah. That's an easy one. You were gonna put the hardest one. Okay, are you ready for mine? Because
Uh,
this is actually like I would love to go with you to Machu Picchu,
ah.
and that is so. When you were mentioning the 100K 100 miler, you have
Mhm.
to do it in like um. It takes
In
you days to get up
stages.
in
Mhm.
stages. It takes you days to get out there, but I would love to do it. I think we would have a blast
Oh
doing
yeah,
it together. Yeah, just
totally.
have our boots and like, yeah, sleeping in a tent and showering with like, I don't know, I don't even know how you, you know who, you know who did that? My friend Len, she did it,
Mhm.
and she did it on the cheap.
Mhm.
So she told me I interviewed her when I had the podcast. I interviewed her, and
I
you know,
remember that
she
one. Yeah.
she told the whole story. She did Kilimanjaro. She did Machu Picchu first, and then Kilimanjaro. So she did Machu Picchu. There were like three different options for tours through the
Mhm.
travel agent they were doing. And she and her friend, they had limited funds at the time. So they said, okay,
Mhm.
out of the three tiers, let's pick like the basic tier.
Yeah.
And she said that the tents were like just tents and like the showers were just like curtain around circular and you're in the middle holding your own thing. And
Yeah.
yeah, so So then when she did Kilimanjaro, she actually did it with like the top tier because they were like, we're not doing this again. It was it was rough. It was really rough. So the
Yeah.
food and everything is better. Obviously, you pay for it and you
Right.
have more porters and more help and everything. But
Right.
I think that would be a cool adventure.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's see.
if we
Question
win
for
the lottery or something.
Oh,
So
I know, right? Why do I
it's
not
gonna
have
be
millions of dollars by now? I don't understand.
well. You probably don't need millions, but yeah,
But it
you at
sure
least
would
need.
make things easy.
Yeah, yeah. You need to have
Looking at my post-it note. Okay. What is a little known fact that your subscribers may not know about you?
Oh, I don't know that.
Something about you, or maybe a talent that you have that maybe you haven't talked about on the channel.
Oh, there's something I can do this. The funny thing is, my son can do it too. So, of all the things he could just get in my from my DNA to his DNA, that was the thing he got. Yeah,
I definitely cannot do that. I can't roll my tongue either. My husband and my daughter can, but I was not
I
born with that ability, and my son can't either.
I can't. Actually, maybe I can. I don't know. I've
Yeah.
never. I'm trying now for the first time. Oh, like this way? No,
Yeah.
I can't do it that way. Yeah, but yeah, I can do this. And when I do it, I used to do it when I was younger. Like when I was 5, 6, 7 in school. And all the kids were like, well, maybe this part of your face is shorter, like your nose is longer. And I'm like, no, it's my tongue that's longer. They were like trying to rationalize it. It's like, no,
Just like,
guys, like,
nope.
yeah, that's it. Um, so the ones that have left, they're all running
Oh,
related.
wait. I got to answer that question too.
Oh,
Let's
yes.
see.
Sorry. Yeah.
I would think most people that have seen my channel know that, like, I do theater. I grew up doing theater. So, I sing, I dance, I do theater, I do costumes and special effects, makeup and stuff like that. What they may not know, where is it? Oh, I keep this by my desk. I actually have been learning to play the ukulele, but it's not something that I really ever talk about online or anything because I'm just starting and I'm not very good at it. But my son started learning ukulele at school, and we've had one here at the house for a long time, just kind of staring at me menacingly saying, why don't you learn to play? And so when my son started playing it, I was like, well, how hard can it be if my fifth grader's doing it? So I started playing, and I've been picking that up for a while. But it's here by my desk because this is where I spend a lot of time researching and editing. And while I'm researching and editing, I'm sitting here and playing. So
I actually have a question for you now that we are uh, talking about this. But along the lines of, do you play the guitar?
I do not. I took some guitar in college when I was a music major because you have to take, although I was vocal emphasis, you do have to take instrumental. So you have to have piano and then one other instrument. And so I picked up guitar, and, I was just kind of okay at it, enough to pass the guitar board at the end of the year. But I was just like, I don't know if this is really my thing. My husband, on the other hand, started playing guitar when he was 14, and he's very good at it. So, uh, not something that I'm particularly good at, but he definitely can. I would love if my son wanted to play guitar. That would be cool. I think he wants to be a drummer, which is sad because he has no sense of rhythm. He has
It's
wonderful
hard.
tone when he is singing. He is a fantastic singer, but I just don't see him playing drums. I don't know, but that's for a band director to talk about of, not me.
You never know. Yeah.
Yeah, he
Did it?
could have, it could be hidden in him and I don't know it. I don't know.
I think it's hard when you're younger to coordinate. I think that the drum, it's hard to coordinate being a
Mhm.
drummer and the strength as well to make the sound because you have to be pretty, yeah, like upper
And
body. It's,
he has my coordination, which is not much. So,
but that I think all of that could change.
mhm.
Yeah. So I don't know if I told you, my husband is a music. He's a musical composer by training. He went to college,
Ah,
and his master's is in, yeah,
that is so cool.
yeah. So I didn't know that yours was. So is that your major?
I started out, which was funny. I started out doing music, and I was aiming towards being like a choir director or something like that. And then I dropped that major because I'm like, man, I'm just not very good at this. And like after I graduated, I went back and looked at my grades, and I was like, I had B's. Why did I think I was not good at this? It was the overachiever part of my brain going, I'm not making A's, so I can't do this. Um, but I ended up finally when because I went to college, I was at a 4-year college and then switched over to a 2-year college to concentrate a little more on just getting my basics out of the way, got my associates, then got married, spent a couple of years working, went back to a 4-year university so I could finish my degree. And I ended up double majoring in theater and English with a teaching certification for
Oh
grades
wow.
7 through 12. So that's just kind of where and see, I'm using so much of that now being on YouTube.
Well,
um,
I actually, so I'm an English major.
ah,
I do think it helps like when you're like scripting and
hmm,
communicating because you have to do so
right,
much writing when you do, at least in Spain. Everything
hmm,
was like papers. Like it was constant, like every week it was like 4 or 5 different papers for all these different classes that I had. So
right.
yeah. And I don't know about you, but I had at one point I had 1 year I had Anglo-Saxon and Middle
Hmm.
English, which was so much fun. We had to translate for Anglo-Saxon. We translated um oh, what's that book? Oh my God, my brain is not working today. Um, it's from like the 6th century. Oh, it's just one word. It's super. It's famous. I mean, it's a
So it would have been like Beowulf or something.
Beowulf. Yes. Oh my God. So we translated Beowulf, and then for Middle English, we translated the Arthurian novels.
Wow.
Yeah, not all of them, but yeah. So it was. Those were fun.
Yeah, I remember I loved my class on early British literature was really fun. Contemporary American literature was another good
I,
one. And
I
I
did
did
that
an
one too.
entire semester just studying Shakespeare.
I
So
did. I did too. Actually,
yeah,
one full
I
semester was
loved
just
that class.
Shakespeare. Yeah, yeah. We did Hamlet, Romeo and Juliet, King Lear,
Hmm.
Twelfth Night.
I
Oh, we
recently
did so
reread
many.
Much Ado About Nothing. I forgot how much I love that.
I don't think we did Much Ado About Nothing. I would remember. Yeah.
And it's another
There's,
one of those Shakespeare things where it's like all the problems would have been solved if somebody had just stopped and asked what was going on. So,
I know they're so fun. And we read the when I took Shakespeare. There's a bunch of people right now watching us like, what are they talking about? They're geeking out. Well, when I did Shakespeare that semester, we read the sonnets.
mhm. Yeah,
His sonnets are like really. He's not known for that, but
right.
which
And he
sonnet?
wrote
Yeah,
so many.
and he wrote so many. I think it was number 11 is the most beautiful thing I've
Mhm.
ever read. Yeah, like a love poem. He was so good. Not known at all for that, but yeah, he was so talented. Anyway, now
Anyway, moving on.
I was gonna ask you, how long does it take you to produce a video? How many hours
Oh
do you
goodness.
have to take
It
a day?
depends on how much research I have to do because anytime that I do like my talking head ones where I'm sitting here like I am now and just giving information and stuff like that, I check a whole lot of sources and kind of cross reference everything. And like I've explained to people in comments before, it's like for a lot of this, I'm just trying to do the broad strokes because I tend to get a lot of people on my channel that are just starting on running, and I don't want to get too much in the weeds. And so you just kind of try to explain that there's a lot more research out there that goes a lot more in depth than I'm able to do in just a short video. But I'm able to give people kind of a starting point And so just making sure that I have all the facts straight for that starting point to give them kind of an area of, do you want to look more into this? Then here's where you would head with that. So there's a lot of research that goes into that. And especially like my Run the USA videos, because I'm like emailing race directors. I'm talking to, I'm going on like different running groups that I'm on and asking, hey, people from this area, what do you think about this and this? I'm going on like race raves and bib rave and like seeing what do people like here as compared to people right here. And, so I have to do a whole lot of cross referencing on that. So there's all that research before I even get to start recording everything. Then once I sit down and record, it can be like anywhere from, you know, 30 minutes to an hour. And that's because I spend a lot of time. I'll stumble over something and then I'll be like, okay, let's back up so I can re-record that. So I'll do 3 or 4 takes of like the same little section of something and decide which one is going to sound the best. Then of course you got to sit down for another hour or two and edit all of that together. Then if I need to add graphics or stock footage or something like that, I'm having to search that up and then pop that in there, correct the sound, add sound effects. And so, I mean, just the one video, just like a maybe 10-minute informational video can take, I'd say maybe 2 or 3 hours of research, and then maybe another 2 to 3 hours of record and edit. And then, of course, the whole design the thumbnail and put it up on the web and everything. Then when I'm doing like more of the training videos, and more of the 30-day challenge videos and stuff like that, then I'm having to record every single day. And so that's about 5 or 10 minutes worth of work just recording every day. And then every single day I'm putting it into my computer and doing a rough edit on it so that by the time I get to the end of that week or the end of that 30 days, then I just kind of watch and make sure that it flows and then put extra stuff into it as I need it. So that saves me a little bit of time there because
Right.
I've already done it as I've been going along, having to do, maybe 10 to 15 minutes of work every single day for either a week or for 30 days. So yeah, it's time consuming. It looks like I don't put a ton of
Oh,
time
no, no,
into
no.
it,
I'm asking
but
because I know you do, but so I just wanted to share it with the world.
yeah, because that's something that my family is used to hearing every day. Of okay, mom's got to sit down and do some editing. Hang on, I'll be right with you. You know, so they understand that there's, in addition to all the other stuff that I do as a stay-at-home mom, just getting kids from place to place and taking care of the house, taking care of shopping bills, all that fun stuff, and getting a run in and a workout for the day, and then throwing in editing on top of that. It's a full day.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and if you're training for something like a marathon, it's because a marathon, when you're training or long, I imagine I haven't
Oh
trained
yeah.
for an ultra yet, but when I do train for our ultra in next year in February,
Yeah, because
um,
like the longer distance that you're training for, of course, the longer your training runs are going to go. And so, thankfully, my coach keeps me to like maybe an hour to an hour and a half at the longest during the week, and then the really long runs on the weekend. So anytime I need to run like 3 or 4 hours at a time, that's at the end of the week. So I've got other people to kind of fill in, and they just know that mom's not available for this 4 hours right here.
right. Yeah, it's hard. I don't know how many
Yeah.
hours do you train? This was not one of my original questions, but how many hours do you think you train with like strength training and stretching and
Um,
all that and running?
Usually, for a run, the shortest I'll usually go during a regular day that, just not a taper week or anything. Shortest run would be around 45 minutes to an hour. Usually my runs are anywhere from an hour to hour 15, hour and a half. And then strength training, since I'm doing longer runs, since I'll stick to maybe 10 to 15 minutes on strength training. There's very few times when I have uh, something on my schedule that says, okay, just do 30 minutes running, but today I want you to do 30 minutes of strength training instead of just 10 or 15. So that occasionally happens, but it's mostly about an hour to hour and a half, and then the 10 to 15, and then the long runs on the weekends.
So you're doing 14 hours of training a week if you're
Thereabouts,
done?
yeah.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
it's a lot. I I don't think I do more than 8 with the running. I probably run like 5.5
Hmm.
or maybe 6, and then whatever strength training. I don't think I do more than 8. When I'm training for a marathon, that I get to 10 for sure. But I don't think I. I was actually checking this on Strava recently. Yeah, and even then, it's a lot. I
Yeah.
mean, if this hobby we put it into something else, can you imagine?
Somebody asked me recently, they were like, because was saying something about, yeah, it's because all of the expense that goes into running. And he was like, I thought that was like a really cheap hobby. And I was like, oh, my sweet summer child.
Yeah,
I
my
once
husband
thought the
said that
same as
too.
you.
He's like, isn't it like just putting one foot in front of the other? I'm like, oh no,
There's so
no.
much more.
He's like, I just like you go out and run and you try running faster the following day. I'm like, no. When you, because he plays, his instrument is the piano. I'm like, when you play the piano and you're learning a song, do you just play the whole song from beginning to end and then you see if you don't? No, you
No.
put it in chunks and you practice your scales. And especially when you're like learning to play an instrument, it's not like you just
Yeah.
do the same thing over and over and over and over and expect, yeah, to improve that way.
And
It's
it's like,
not,
you
not like
can
that.
just go out and run, but if you want to not get hurt, then you kind of have to put some other stuff in there.
Right, right. So now I'm going to answer the original question, the editing and how long it takes me. So when I'm filming my weekly running vlogs, just the filming, there's a lot that doesn't make it till the final cut because otherwise it would be like an hour and a half, and they're usually like 30 minutes. Um, so yeah, I am filming for like an hour, and then as I go, I edit everything on my phone. So as I go, I edit when I have like 10 minutes here and there and 15 minutes, which is not ideal, but that's the only way that I can actually get it done. If I had to sit down and do it, I would not have enough time to do it. But
Yeah.
like I am at work, I'm having lunch or something, I'm just like eating and then like I have my headphones and I'm like editing. I'm editing constantly, like because I do like 10 minutes at a time. But those videos are probably 7 or 8 hours. Yeah. That's why when I am doing the weekly running vlogs, it's very hard for me to get another video that same week because
Right.
just that is like 7 hours of my time. Like just the
Yeah.
filming and then the editing and then the finding the songs. Yeah, sometimes I'm like, I'm gonna put my splits here. Every time I do, I'm gonna put my splits here. It's like, why did I do this? Because now I have to go to Garmin, take a screenshot, put it in the
And
auto,
actually
let
put
it
it
put it on
there.
the thing. Oh, if you decide later on that you're gonna clip something, then that piece moves to another, like I don't know if your editing software does that, but mine, if you had it in the original one and you clip something before, that moves.
Mhm.
It's whatever you
Oh,
put. If it's minute 5, it goes to whatever minute 5 now is. So it's like crap. And all the sounds and everything. So that's why I edit as I go along because it's like, okay, I have Monday and Tuesday finished, wrapped up. Now I can at Wednesday, like I have everything so that
mhm.
because if I have to go back, it just takes so much more because then everything, it's, yeah, all my things and all
Yeah.
that, click, all that is
Mhm.
just like in
I
some
always
other
had
place.
that right at the end.
Oh, and then usually like I control the sound. I sometimes the clip is very noisy, so you have to get rid of the like whatever it's in the background. When I
Mhm.
run, some days my neighbors are all like mowing the lawn and it's
Right.
like everywhere you're going, it's like okay, I need to take that off. And yeah, it's a lot of work.
And I'll even get sometimes really picky with it because I'm like, I have an 8-second shot here. I could probably cut that down to 5 seconds, because I think
Oh,
that'll make this part will go a little bit better if I just shorten some of these clips.
sometimes like, I wonder, like, I'm like, is someone really interested in watching this? Like, if I just found the channel, like, would I want to watch this? Like, and I just take it off. Like, it's like, no, I would not be interested. Just delete, delete.
You're like,
Yeah,
nah, I don't need, because there's sometimes where like I'll do 2 or 3 takes of talking about something, and then when I go for the final edit, I'm like, I don't need that section at all. I'm just cutting the whole thing.
yeah. It happens. It happens often. Yeah. Okay, my computer. So I think now it's your turn. I
Okay.
think we probably have one time for one of yours and one of mine.
All right. Let's see. What do you typically listen to when you are running, if anything?
I have a playlist that's called Running. It's
Mhm.
actually public, and I have some followers there. I don't know how people found it. I think I posted at one point in one video or something. I think I have like 5 or 6 people following the playlist. Um, and I just when I have a song that I like, I just add it. So right now, I think I have like 8 hours of music. So we just randomly, I have it on random and it plays. But I
Hmm.
have a lot of different types of music. So I have soundtracks. I have Gladiator. I have um, Pacific Rim because I am weird that
Mhm.
way. I have the Mandalorian. I have in there. I have Mission Impossible. Like, I have Pirates of the Caribbean because they are, like those are. And when it's random, it's like you hear a pop song and then you hear that, and it's just not boring because you're
Yeah.
shifting in between. So I have rock and roll. I have Whitesnake in there. I have the Eagles. Then I have Dua Lipa, for example.
Mhm.
So I have everything. I have a little bit of everything. Yeah. I even have slow songs. So I have a couple of like Shakira, less known. I like her ballads a lot.
Mhm.
Little known fact about me. I really well, it's known. I like Shakira, but I like her
Oh yeah.
ballads more than anything, any other thing. I think she writes really beautiful songs. So, so I have her in there too. I have Gloria Stefan. I have conga. I have like old songs. Like I have some songs in there that are well, not old, but they're like from the 80s. So
Yeah.
yeah, like I bet people would be surprised. So
Hmm.
what do you listen to?
I'll listen almost exclusively to podcasts when I run. I used to listen to only music, but then a friend of mine told me about a podcast that I need to listen to. So I listened to that one, which led to another one. And now that's all I listen to when I run because just listening to people talk about stuff that I find interesting kind of helps take my mind off of what I'm doing. So if I need to get my mind out of keeping track of pace and nutrition and where do I ache and what do I need to fix and stuff like that. If I've spent enough time in my mind going over that and I need to focus on something else, then I can focus on what they're saying there. Um, which is also good for me because there are people that like to run in groups. And I don't think I'm one of those people because that's that's one of the things with being autistic is that it's very, very difficult to make small talk, and so that just takes a lot of my brain to figure out what to say to people and when I need to be part of the conversation and not. And it's just like there's too many social rules for my brain to figure out. And so it's just easier to run by myself, but I still need conversation to take my mind off of it. And podcasts really kind of helps fill that void. So there are some that I will only listen to. There's some I'll listen to while I'm driving if I'm going to pick up my kids or something like that. But like the rest of them, I only listen to exclusively when I'm running. So that's another reason to get myself out the door because I really want to hear this episode of this podcast. And if I want to hear it, I'm going to have to go out and run.
Right. I listen to podcasts a lot, but typically not when I'm running. When I'm running, I really either I don't listen to anything. Like this morning I ran, I didn't have anything on.
Mhm.
Um, and I didn't even realize that I didn't have anything on. Like I was
Mhm.
running, I was like, oh, I did a 5K time trial and I was in the middle of a 5K time trial. I was like, I don't have the music on. And then it sucks because it's like, I should have thought about this before because now I can't stop to turn on I really need to get the 5K done. And then, but yeah, I'm doing dishes. I don't know, mm, mopping or whatever, cleaning
Yeah.
bathrooms, whatever it is that I'm doing, especially on the weekends, I'm listening or, cooking, I'm listening to
Mhm.
podcast, but not so much when I'm running.
Yeah.
Sometimes I do
I
though.
remember that happened to me at my 50K. I had my headphones on the entire time that I ran. just figuring when things get tough, I can turn on some music or something like that. And I never turned them on. I was still wearing them the entire time. I never took them off at an aid station or anything like that. But I don't know. I think I was just used to wearing them. But so I would have felt weird without them, but I never actually listened to anything while I was out there.
Yeah, I always take them with me, and I always take my sunglasses, even if it's not sunny, because sometimes it's like you need them, like it's windy or the sun
Mhm.
comes out or something. It's like I don't know, I have my sunglasses, so I always take the
Yeah.
sunglasses and
Yeah.
the headphones. These ones have a button here, so usually when I'm like on a race, I just didn't do it today, but but I have my phone. I put the music on and I pause it here, and then I know that
Mhm.
when I want, I just have to put it here. I just press the button and it plays on my phone.
Yeah.
So you just have to remember to, like to have everything synced up before you start running.
Yeah.
So, um, I was gonna ask you something else and I forgot. I'm gonna remember as soon as you and I disconnect. Okay. I'm gonna ask you one. This is a hard one, I think.
Okay.
Which one? Which was your favorite race and why? Of all the races you've run, you're gonna like pick
Hmm.
one
Hmm.
and why.
Good
You have
question.
to have like a why of like not. I don't know if it was your fastest or whatever it is, but the reason why you're picking it as your favorite race.
Let's see. Good question. Because it's like there's some that I like just for different reasons. Um, like, finishing my first 50K was, that was my biggest accomplishment at that point, and it was just kind of that feeling of crossing the finish line and knowing that I had done it. So that was always good. As far as like um, probably like most scenic course that I've been on so far was the one I ran in Alabama. That was the Race to the Cave, and I love that one just for that last mile or a mile and a half when you're actually in a cave, and it was just every single runner went completely silent once they hit the mouth of the cave because it was just like you didn't want to talk and ruin what you were seeing because it was so beautiful. So there was that, and I loved running the Indy Mini. Um, and that was just because there was so much crowd support at different points throughout it. And it's just the whole thing was just one big party. So, yeah, and getting to run on the Indy 500 track was really, really, really cool. So, you know, loved being a part of that one. So yeah, there's several that I can think of that are special to me for different reasons.
Okay, I now that you gave several, I'm gonna give several too. So one of my most favorite ones is the Disney Marathon. This last time, it's always been a great race when I've run it, like all three
Mhm,
times that I've run it. But this last year it was really special because it was a really good race. Like we were
mhm,
so like Carl and I were so in sync. Like yeah, it was a really good race. And it was very special too because we didn't think so. We were when we were on mile 15, it started pouring, like
mhm.
raining so much. And I was dressed as Snow White, so I did my winged eyeliner, my red
Right.
lips, and we're like getting completely drenched. I mean, it was raining sideways, but like water, like it
I
was
remember
really
I was
miserable.
I was following the weather that day going, "Oh, no."
Oh, and the day before it was they cut the half marathon in half. Like we only did 7.2 miles, I
Mhm,
think, because of thunder. But here it started raining so much, and when they during the rain, there was this girl running with us, like kind of
mhm,
in the same, and she said a friend of mine works for Run Disney, and she said they're gonna bypass us. We're not even gonna hit Animal Kingdom, so they were gonna cut
hmm.
the course at mile 15. And we were so sad. We were like, oh my God, we're not going to finish the 26.2. This sucks. Like, we were like, really, I mean, not down, but we were like, oh, come on, yesterday and now today, we're not going to.
Yeah,
So we actually said, let's just run faster because if not, we're not going to run 26.2, there's no need to hold back. It's like, let's
right.
just go for it. And then we're running and we actually were going at a good clip. And then we hit Animal Kingdom. We passed 15, and it's like maybe
Mhm.
they're not cutting us. And then it stopped raining, and it's like maybe they're not cutting us. And then we reached Animal Kingdom. It's like okay, we're doing 26.2.
Yeah.
So it was just the whole thing, the way it happened. It was a lot of fun. Just
So
that
you
day.
still had to do the Blizzard Beach parking lot.
We still did, and they had the best DJ. I mean, he was playing Star Wars. First of
Mhm.
all, he had the biggest speakers I've ever seen. I've never seen
Mhm.
speakers like massive speakers, and he was playing Star Wars, but with like um, disco music, like really
Oh, yeah, yeah.
like house music behind. Like but he was doing it so well. Like he was so good. Like every, I would say 30 seconds, he was changing the song too. Like he was so good.
I'm glad they're
So
doing
that was,
something there. So, because that's always a part that people are like, the parking lot,
it
because you
was,
go
and everybody
through a
actually,
loop and,
people were stopping and dancing. I mean, he was very, very good. So that one definitely has a special place in my heart. And then,
Carol says that one was fun.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
You remember when they said they were gonna cut us? Like that girl's like, they're gonna at 1:15, and we're like, oh, okay, well we're not running, so maybe we should keep the pace. And like we're not running. Yeah. Um. So that one was special. And then Philadelphia Half Marathon in November. I turned
Mhm.
50 the day that it was Philadelphia Half Marathon. And I had a blast. I ran it on my own. So Lynn ran it, Jennifer ran it, and there were other people. They joined us afterwards for lunch
Mhm.
to celebrate my birthday. But I ran it on my own, and I had a blast. It was so much fun. They took like the photographers took pictures, and when I saw them, it was like, how am I like? I looked so like deliriously happy. Like they should have put me as like the brand, like seriously, like all the pictures. I'm like smiling face to face and doing like this, and like better than any Disney picture ever. It was like, how can you like? And I had a lot of pictures. It was like 40 pictures. I'm smiling all of them, like doing this. They really should use a banner or something. Like I don't know. Yeah, it was like it was hard for me to recognize myself because I was like, yeah, even crossing the finish line. I'm like so happy. So if that was a really good race. So those two, I would say, are my favorite. Oh, well, another one, Philadelphia Marathon when I ran it with my brother. Yeah, because it was a
Yeah.
hard one. It was super cold. Yeah, I ran so many races. It's hard when you
Yeah.
run so many different races.
So I
Disney
just
Marathon
I
when
have
the
to go with the ones that pop up into my head first of, oh yeah, I really like that.
yeah, the more you think about it, like when I paced my friend Tristan on her first Disney Marathon, when I met you,
Mhm.
that Disney Marathon,
Yeah.
that was special too because that was her first marathon, and yeah, it's always nice to run with someone who's they're running their first marathon. I
Mhm.
think it was my fourth. Not that I had run, but yeah. So that one was
Let's see, that was
special.
my second one that I finished, and it was like 2 months after Little Rock Marathon because they had bumped it to November for that year.
I remember that, and
Mhm.
you found that. I remember that as well.
Mhm.
Oh, I know what I was gonna say before. So when you're saying that when you're with people, you don't know what to say. My best friend in Spain, she and I always talked about this. How we were like sisters. Like we grew up together. When I go now to Madrid next month, we're gonna meet. And
Mhm.
her oldest son and my son, they're the same age. They're like 3 months
Oh,
apart. Well, she and I are 4 months apart. Our kids are like 3.5 months apart. So it's like,
wow.
yeah. Um, and she got married 6 months after I got married. It's like a whole, yeah. But we always joked about this, about how sometimes we would just meet each other
Mhm.
and just not talk. That we would be together 2 hours and not say a word, just be next to each other, reading a book or something.
Mhm.
Like her family had a condo in the Mediterranean where my parents had a condo too. So we would spend the summers there, and we would just go to the beach. So either she would come pick me up or I would go pick her up. We would walk to the beach, put the towel, like the towels there, go to the water. Do you want to go to the water? We'll go to the water, float there, come back. And we always said, like, if someone's looking at us, they're like, are these girls even talking to each other? That we would just like, can you put suntan lotion on me? I would put suntan, and it was just like perfect because it was just that you get along with someone really, really well because you don't have to say anything, you know?
Right.
Kind of like when you're with your husband, you're like, what do you want to watch?
Mhm.
Like, it's just like you're on, it's
What do you want for
just
dinner?
that,
I don't know.
like that familiarity of like, we know what to do, how to do it, what time. I don't know. It's just, yeah, there's something to be said for that, you know? So very cool. And now we are, we were here. Do you have questions left, right?
Yes. I
I
think we
do
have
have questions.
2 questions left.
So maybe we should do another round, come up with more
Yeah.
questions and do a second round.
Yeah,
Another,
we can do that.
another, maybe next month.
Yeah.
Very cool. So reiterate your channel, guys. Go to her channel because she's close to
Okay.
1,000. So,
Not that close, but
oh,
close-ish.
you have to get there. Well, you have to. It's not it's not mandatory, but
Which is
you know.
which is really funny. I have had people commenting on like some of my my first videos recently. They're just like, I don't know how I found your channel. I'm like, I don't know how you found it either. But there's people like, yeah, now I started running now, so thank you. I'm like, awesome, yay, that was my goal.
I think I started following you when you had like 16 subscribers or something.
Something like that. I remember when I had 12 subscribers, and I was like, wow, do I even know 12 people? I don't know.
I think it was one of those 12. It was super early on that I found you. And you found me really early on too. I had like
Yeah, I remember I saw you in
100
it was
maybe.
when I think it was when the Run Experience was still doing live streams. And I think
Oh, yes.
you were in one of their live streams, and I was like, ah, I like her username. I'm going to her channel and subscribing.
I remember that. Yeah, they used to go live every Wednesday,
Hmm.
right? And then
Because
it was Heather was first.
it was
This was
Heather
like
at
Heather,
at
and
like
then it was
noon,
Running
and then Run
Experience.
Experience. Hmm.
Yeah, I would do both. Yeah, I was
Yeah,
working from home, like fully working from home at that time, and I remember. Yeah, I would
yeah.
like do administrative stuff. Like I was like, I'm not gonna be on the phone. I'm just gonna like because I wanted to. Yeah, I would do them back to back. And it was funny because she would say, Heather would say, I need to get off because I want to get on the running
Yeah,
experience
we got to get on the
live
other
stream.
screen.
I'm finishing mine so I can go on there. Yeah. Yeah,
But yeah,
those were the
if anybody wants to join me, I'm at Running Geek Girl, and that's on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Threads. You can look me up on Strava under Running Geek Girl. So yeah, you can
and
find me
she's
there.
awesome. She
Oh,
has a
thank
lot
you.
of good content, like really, yeah. When I watched your like topical videos, it's always like, these are really good. That's why I wanted to ask you about how you edit them and how long it takes you. Because knowing what I know, those take a while to put
Yeah,
together. They're really well thought out, like the way that you structure them. They're really
yeah.
well
I'm
done.
working on a 30-day challenge right now, and I'm throwing all the content that I've recorded so far up onto my editor, but I'm like, I can't figure out how I want to tell the story. I just have a lot of random stuff right now. So now I've got to figure out exactly how I'm going to get it to flow. So,
And that's the hardest part.
yeah.
That's, yeah, to make it flow. You can always do
Yeah,
it
that
like
is something that I'm
documentary.
doing on my channel, by the way, everybody. So if you have a 30-day challenge that you would like me to try, and I always say, don't tell me run a marathon a day for 30 days because I am not a superhero. Let's keep things realistic. Okay.
Who can
But
do that though? I mean,
I
it's like
know.
you need to be unemployed, like completely, no kids,
Yeah.
unemployed. You can't be out there running like 5 or 6 hours a day or more,
And
because if you're
especially
doing
since
it
I'm about to
every day.
start I'm about to start rehearsals for a musical, so I don't have time. I've
So,
got dance rehearsals to go to and music rehearsals, and I've got to memorize lines. I don't have time to run a marathon.
so it has to be something like the splits when you did the like the
Yeah, I
split
did
and
30 days to learn the splits. I'm working on a 30-day challenge right now. I will say that it's something AI related.
oh
So
wow.
that's yeah, it's been taking some planning on my part to get this together, but that's what I'm filming now. I did a vote on my community post recently, and most people would like to see me try to work on pull-ups for 30 days to see if I could get just one pull up in 1 month. So
I was
I'm
actually going
I'm
to
doubtful, but
join that, but I thought if someone voted for me to do this, I don't think I could ever do a pull up. I'm so not strong up here. And
yeah.
also my lower, I have a lot of weight and and so I don't think I could pull it, like pull my body up. It's like, let's be honest. Yeah. Like, yeah.
But,
Like it's
I could at least try it for 30 days and see how it goes.
yeah. Well, hopefully you do. Yeah. That would be fun. Very cool. Well, thank you everybody who joined us, and thanks
Thank you,
Heather for
guys.
coming. And then maybe
We'll
we
do
could
this
do it on,
again.
yes, maybe we can do it on your channel.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that'd
you
be
host
fun.
me.
Okay.
Okay. Have a good weekend, everybody.
Bye,
Love you,
guys.
Heather.
Love
Bye-bye.
you. Bye.
Bye.